Go ahead.
Hey everyone, we're here at Rapid Transit. We're going to be buying some shoes. The reason we want to buy these shoes, we're buying running shoes, I should be more specific. But the reason we want to buy these shoes is because we are planning to actually run a marathon. But in the meantime, we will be running that 5K. You guys already know this about us, but just a reminder that we are training for a 5K. But we are getting these shoes so that it can absorb the impact. So we're going to be talking to some professionals, and we're actually going to bring you guys along that trip with us.
So this is Rapid Transit. I guess they sell all kind of things in here.
Going in?
Yep. All right. So we are going in. Pittsburgh place, so see the Steeler merchandise.
Yeah, not in Pittsburgh.
I mean Pennsylvania. Sorry. Oh wow, there's all kind of stuff in here. Interesting. Are you looking down?
Yeah. Oh, almost there. Oh, it's a bunch of stuff down there. It's like a whole downstairs.
Maybe we might check that out then.
Yeah.
Hey guys. All right, so I'm Isaac. I'm not sure which one I've been talking to on the Facebook Messenger.
Oh, yes.
We'll let you guys know we want to come
Yeah.
and we want to buy some running shoes.
Yeah, sure. Yep.
So we've never bought running shoes before, so we're hoping part of this can be sort of educational.
Yeah.
So there's someone who could help us look through running shoes, explain some things about running shoes.
Yeah.
That would
Come
be
on in
perfect.
and let's have a seat here.
All right. Where are we going? Over here?
Yeah.
All righty.
Both of you need shoes, right?
Yeah.
Have a seat there. Have a seat there.
We got one.
Wow.
And I'm assuming then this is what you have been using right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the chair.
Raise that size up.
Running in how do you feel physically right now?
Well, now I feel like my foot is hitting the ground. But before,
Okay.
I don't know. It felt stable. It had like a hard bottom, so it wasn't. I feel like it did absorb a lot of impact.
Did you get any lower leg stress outside of muscle soreness that would bother you from time to time, like shin soreness or knee soreness? Or anything?
Actually, the shin.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you can, anytime that it's outside of muscle. So when I look at the lower leg structurally, I think of when I'm talking about my muscles, I'm talking about my quads, my hamstrings, and my calf muscles.
What do you think?
That's what is obviously the capability to absorb all the impact that you have when you're running. That's the highest demand.
Yeah, let me see this one.
And those are the muscles that can do it. When we get into small tissue situations like the front legs, be it whether it's right over top of the tibia or whether it's on the medial side of the tibia, or even on the lateral side, towards the calf muscle, because the calf muscle is its longest down here on the outside edge. There's a situation definitely where the weight of the foot might be in an offset position. Same thing applies with the knee. If it's the inside part of the knee, if it's the outside part of the knee, there's a situation where the weight could be distributed in the offset position.
Okay.
Lower hip, upper hip, lower back, you name it. We attribute a lot of that most often to I'm out of shape.
Yeah.
I gotta get back in
Yeah.
shape. Yeah, but really, honestly, it has to do with what is on our footwear. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Our footwear either help us or they do not help us. So those things like that, like what has always been referred to as shin soreness, that's a condition. That's a problem with the shoe. Knee soreness, again, whether it be either of those two sort of areas, that's a condition. You want your weight to consistently stay about as centered as possible in your shoe, especially for running. Running is the hardest thing that we can do. You know, if you're on a recumbent bike or even a bike itself, an elliptical cross, you're not impacting the body the same way. The same thing would be like if you're in the gym working out as well too. You're working multiple different muscles by moving different positions. Running tells us everything definitely by far as to whether we're good or whether we're not good. And don't feel bad because it definitely doesn't have to do with, I haven't done anything. I got to get out there and I gotta exercise again. But my exercise hurts me initially because I'm not.
Yeah, I definitely thought it was because I was out of shape.
No, not at all. So somewhere along the line, somewhere within the shoe wasn't matching up well enough to the way that your foot likes to sort of move. And so there is a certain scenario where our weight needs to be generated. Like I was mentioning, it has to be centered. You stay centered, you're better off. It does not take very much for the weight of the foot to be offset. I mean, they say that typically the arch, the heel, if it's past a 3-degree sort of rotation, when it's in the shoe, we're in trouble. Very, very little room for error. And so there's multiple shoes out there for us. Something like this, being able to understand, makes everything all the better for you, definitely. So let's slide those off. How long have you had them?
I've had these
Not the right size. Okay.
for, let's see,
Let me go grab.
years.
All right, too long.
Yeah, too long. Definitely too long.
When I got my individual trying to think about it, that's too long. So, oh yeah, this, I love shoes like this, only because they tell me a lot. Yeah, it's like when they cut down a tree, they count the rings to see how old they are. From that aspect, this tells me a lot as well too. So you see, a high level of wear obviously back in through here. You're gonna see that. Initially, just biomechanically as a human being, because we are on 2s and not on 4s like the animals out there in the kingdom, we are going to hit and strike generally out towards this outside edge. You'll see that wear like that. I don't worry about that at all, period. That's just us.
You know what I mean? That's the color.
This is what I worry about. You have got a big tendency to be driving off that outside edge. Treads are still here. They are absolutely gone right in through there. So forcefulness, my guess is, at least when you were in this shoe, just by looking at that wear, your weight has consistently been here. That's trouble, definitely. Because the more that it lets your weight stay out there, the more that your weight's not gonna sit in and along that center point. If I'm to have wear like this, I better have it like this. So my treads should still be here and my treads should still be over here, but that middle part could definitely be worn down. Now, I don't like it to get to this point, but that's how I would want the wear pattern to be, definitely. That would tell me that my weight is more towards the middle. And once that's better, then your weight stays on your muscle. And you can train better, you become stronger, you become faster by always letting it be. Guaranteed, that leg stress was because this guy was letting you do that. No doubt. Let's see the other one. It's probably going to be the same thing. Pretty close. Yeah, pretty close. Certainly. So yeah, we need a shoe. Definitely, I mean, your highest impact when you run.
Your phone.
So your highest impact when you run is definitely 4 foot. There's no doubt about it. Maybe when you walk or whatever, you're going to hit a little bit more back in through here, but you are definitely driving tremendously off the ball. So there's got to be some strength up here in the metatarsal area with the shoe. But we got to get off this edge. So we're going to change the shoe up just a little bit. Okay. But not a lot. But the biggest thing is definitely getting better and better cushioning underneath the metatarsal area. Size was comfortable to you?
Yeah.
Definitely? Okay. I'll be right back. And your name?
Dynasty.
Dynasty.
Yes.
I'm Byron. Pleasure.
Byron.
Yep. I'll be right back. Dynasty, give me a moment. So we definitely want a lot of 4 foot cushioning. And that's what I'm going to have here with these 2 styles of shoes. They're a little different in the way that they will build the far back end of the shoe. And once I see you run in the shoe, we'll go outside and we'll do some, take some running steps. It'll tell me a little bit more because the next thing that I'm wondering is that stressor right in through there. So this particular shoe and that shoe, even though they're the same brand, are totally different. But the one thing that they do have in common is they do have a better forefoot.
That's the 880. Okay, so these are models.
How far along in training are you guys?
10% off there.
Not that far.
No, okay, I just started.
Yeah, pretty much,
I got you. I got you.
Put it on there, and my name is right there.
And yeah, sorry, I got the left shoe out there first.
So $216.95. Where did you park that today?
It doesn't take time to break in a shoe. I can understand, all right, you guys are getting ready to train for a marathon. I don't want you buying a shoe 2 weeks prior to the race and then try to use that shoe. That would be definitely detrimental. You want some mileage on the shoe, and at that point, you're going to be, obviously tapering and not putting as many miles on a shoe. So any marathon runner knows never to buy a shoe that soon before a race. They want it so that they're training with it.
Yeah.
All the time with. And by the time that the marathon's done, I can guarantee you the shoe's probably gonna be shot at this point.
Yeah.
That's just how it is. Mileage wise, everybody's different as to how long they actually get out of the shoe. But if you're getting ready to train, you'll be good through the training, you'll be good for the race. Time to toss them as soon as the race is over. Don't try to start running again,
Yeah.
a couple weeks later or whatever, if you get so excited to do another one, down the road, of course. Okay. Now I can hold on to your phone, I feel like. See that little yellow meter right down in there off the wall? I'm gonna let you go ahead and jog. Normal pace. I don't want speed. I want what you like to do, obviously, when you go out and run. Because that's more of your natural stride. I can understand, like, if you're getting out onto the track to do some speed work, of course, just to get the legs to turn over faster, because some people will do that when they marathon train. But that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about, I'm going out, I'm doing my mileage. So that type of pace. See what you think. Roll down and back. I knew it. The one thing that I saw with her shoe, her older shoe, I said she's very, very strong on the ball of the foot. You actually watch her run and watch the feet. She runs right up on her toes. So there's a higher tendency for that impact to be really, really much on that outside. I knew it. Remember when
You're really good at this.
Remember when I said when I looked at your shoe that your highest impact is on the forefoot?
Yeah.
You run on your toes. Even when you jog, you run on your toes. So there's no doubt. That's where everything needs to be in the shoe for sure. How did it feel?
It felt really nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Much different than not.
Yeah.
Now
definitely.
again, we got to attribute some of it to the age of that shoe. It has worn itself down. It's beat up. So it's not helping absorb, and your poor body's absorbing most of the impact now, which is okay when it's on the muscles, not when it's on anything outside of it. Size felt okay with the length? Because again, I'll err on the side as to what you feel comfortable with. I like a little bit of room, but I don't like my shoes to be too sloppy. I got people that like their shoes to be tighter, so that's a preference.
I think I like mine tighter too.
Yeah, used to that. Good. We'll try another one. We're going to try this other shoe as well too. I think what I might do is I might just leave that one on.
Okay. My shoes are really nice.
I have one purpose. Run support.
That's
But they're
right.
so pretty.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I promise you, I don't do it by color initially. I can do it by color down the road once we decide, what really feels, that much more comfortable. Because most of them generally there is some color changes. Sometimes there's not. Sometimes it's like one or two colors and that's it.
How seasick they were on the way over, and how the Navy guys tormented them on the boat. He never really talked about the other.
Yeah, my dad did all that. Not too long,
No, my dad was born in 1914.
My dad was born in 1920.
So he was.
So the difference between this one, the first one we had tried on, is what Brooks does with this particular shoe is they integrate into the mid part of the shoe what they call a guide rail system. Think of it as like If you ever went bowling, for instance, and you were a young kid, they would put the bumper pads in through the rails so that the ball wouldn't go into the gutter. Same sort of idea here with what they do here. So they do it here and they do it on the outside edge as well too. It's a support scenario. This one that we first started with, they don't put the guide rail into the shoe. The shapes of them are similar. You know, they have sort of that same sort of curve design to them, but that's the one thing that really, really changes up the pace of how this is built. So the idea is guidance on both sides of the shoe to try to give you a little bit of stability. What I was wondering is just because of the stressor being on the front part of the leg, sometimes it's because there's not enough support in the shoe. Now, support can be different and built in different ways. It could be the lack of support underneath the ball of the foot, which for you is very, very important because that's how you like to run. You run up on the toe, but it also can be just the full length of the shoe not having enough on both. So that's why I want to do one on one and one on the other. And I know it'll be a little tough only because they're new and they're both going to feel better than what you had there. But if one feels that much better because of it, you know, say this one feels better because it has more of a stable base and you feel like you drive through it more fluently and easy, then it's better in that respect versus this. No two shoes are exactly alike, but I can narrow things down easily by doing this with this one having great cushioning where we want it, a little more flexible, this one a little bit more supportive, but I'm betting your legs will tell you, even just within that shorter distance, which one feels better. So let's go back out again, of course. Again, of course, just you, it's more feel to you. What feels, and I hate to say natural, because it's tough to judge. What you have had is not natural anymore. But what feels really, really comfortable between the two. Try it and see what you think. I mean, she hardly even strikes the heel at all.
You're right.
Yeah, but that's natural. Everybody's different. I mean, you do have some people that their stride will be where they overstride and they hit their heel, you know, a little heavier. I would say the majority of the populace come down and hit a lot of the shoe, and then we've got individuals like you that like to run on the toe. So what do you think?
I think this one felt better.
Yeah?
Yeah, over this one.
Yeah. So the stable base feels a little bit more comforting then?
Yeah. It was weird because I like this one more
both?
than this one.
Oh, you mean like in the color?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, again, don't worry about the color. We may have some options in the color, but it is all about that. You know, what feels better. I wouldn't tell you that there's any different in the front end of the shoe. Both shoes are almost built identical in the forefoot. It's that back end that changes things. Sometimes that's just enough.
Yeah. It felt very different.
Yeah. So that's good. Now that we know that, now we're going to try shoes that are much closer to the way that this is. And again, we work with that forefoot because that's where you like to strike. And we'll see which one out of all of them actually feels that much better. And maybe we have a couple that feel really good and real close to each other. So you'll get that sometimes. We'll go again. We'll just okay. You get a workout today.
Yeah. Going to the gym after this.
All right, beautiful. Excellent. We'll see what you think. Now,
I already don't like it.
you don't feel right. That's fine. No, seriously, once you start to adjust to something and understand what feels comfortable, it doesn't take very long before they do, something in the shoe will not feel right. So you were easily, with the Brooks, went all the way down and back. Now, somewhere along the line, now what do you feel here?
This one, it feels like there's just a dip.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, like it almost like sort of like drops off then? Okay. Well, that's definitely something that you don't want to feel for sure because you're so strong, again, we'll revert back to you're the toe runner. You don't ever want to feel that front end do that.
Oh, and they're so nice.
They do look really nice. I'm not gonna lie. I really like those shoes. I guess it's not about the look.
No, it's not. Not at all.
I always say looks will get you killed. Because sometimes they will. You know, the look of the shoe might look great, but it just doesn't match up well enough.
She looked amazing too.
It does.
That one matches your face.
That's what I was saying.
I didn't know we were fashion consultants as well. did we? That's nice having you guys. Thanks for coming today and
I'll
not
bring one
Saturday.
more here once. I'll be
Yeah,
right
I think
back.
this is better. Actually, probably
It
because
was Blue White Weekend too,
Oh.
with the spring football game.
Yeah.
So the town was just nuts.
yeah, and it makes sense. Like right now, it's like perfect. The sound in the background is like perfect too,
Yeah.
because there's no other sound.
Good, yeah, because earlier in the day every chair was full again, and you came at the right time. Yeah, I've had the store this.
Whoa.
Wow.
Yeah, now I'm 42, 37 and 5.
Was it a
I
family
was a
shop?
child genius, or I'm not 42.
No, of course you were a
Yeah.
child genius.
Yes, I was a child genius.
I think that makes more sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
I mean, you know a lot about shoes. You might have just
I'm
known
not
since the beginning.
68. I'm 42.
So how did you get started? Like, what made you open the place?
Well, we've always involved with running and athletics, and so I've been running for 52 years now.
Got it.
Slower each year, of course. And now I'm at the point when I run on campus, I get, good job. I'm like, really? I'm a good job? Is that who I am now? I wanted to tell them I know my way back and I have my medication with me and I have my ID bracelet on. I'm like, good. But in your mind, you think you're still a young, fast runner,
Yeah.
And as you slow down, you don't realize how slow you are until you're running on campus with younger runners and they're going by you like you're standing still.
That's funny.
But it's interesting to know how you found out about the store, being fairly new to the area.
Yeah.
You were at PT apparently, or yeah, we have a lot of support from the area.
Definitely tighter.
That's good.
How
A lot,
tight?
yeah.
You tell me.
It didn't come overnight.
I might be a little too
Yeah.
tight.
A little too tight.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
Yeah,
we're glad to
that
support a
definitely
local place.
Seemed like
Yeah,
it was
thank you.
very
9
snug on the
full-time
foot there.
employees,
Yeah.
and
Right.
they're all very appreciative of all our wonderful clients.
Yeah, this is great. I mean, I really enjoyed the experience. It's been nice, so
Yeah, good.
we'll definitely be back. And I imagine after we wear these down, we'll need another pair. So we'll
That's
come back
it.
again.
That's the whole idea, is actually using them.
Mhm.
That's the hard part.
That is the hard
Yeah,
part.
that's right. That's it. Oh my God.
So how do you know at what point you found the right shoe? Like, what's the
Fit. I mean, we have that. That is very, very comfortable in the way that it's built. Now I'm just gonna see what I have, color-wise with it. The Saucony felt like it was too loose. And if it feels too loose right away, initially, it's not going to work because you're going to get out there and try to exercise in it. And the shoe will end up, constantly feeling like you're just slopping around in the shoe. And then we tried the New Balance on, and the fit is just a little bit tight. So all I did was try to change the width. The width felt like it was too big. So you'll get that with shoes. Each one, this is why these last 4 that we've tried, They're all supposed to be very similar to the way that they're built. But again, that's why I always say no two shoes are exactly alike. You'll feel that difference as soon as you're in them with it. The Asics look great, but it dropped off at the forefoot. And with you striking on that forefoot, that's not going to work. That's how it happens with multiple shoes. I wish I could say that the style of shoe that I like, I could use 3 or 4 different models, but I can't. I'm consistently going right back into the same shoe usually that generally works well for me as long as they keep making it. So let's see what we have color-wise.
How much?
Sometimes black. And this one, I get some response, I get ugly response. Same exact shoe, 3 different colors. No difference.
No, I didn't give him one.
I think this is a nice shoe. It just messed up with
With the orange. I got you.
I think I like that one better
Okay.
actually. Yeah.
Yeah.
So all 3 of these are the same. This is
Same,
just
yep.
Yeah.
Same exact shoe, just it's all color. And this is the one time that I say my ladies can have some vanity. They get to, guys do too, of course, when I have different colors.
Yeah, I like these too.
That's a good color. Yeah, it's different.
I like those better.
Yeah.
And the color scheme is just really nice.
Yep.
But those other Brooks that were tried on first were the nicest to me.
In the color.
Yeah.
I usually have a gray color back there, a lighter gray with a little bit of blue in it. I don't have it in the size.
Well, yeah, I like the pink one.
Okay.
Pink and,
You want to put them back on one more time? Or? Okay.
Just to make sure.
Yep, exactly. I always like.
So you found like a base shoe that fits her foot nice, and then you just try to see small, like if you make small changes to get better or worse.
Slight variables in the way that the shoes, can be built. So that's why I kind of started. I mean, I could have grabbed Asics, for instance, to start off the bat. I could have grabbed New Balance, but I grabbed 2 shoes, 2 slight different changes in the way that they wanted to build the shoes. Because the first, that gray one that we first had on, that was Brooks, and this one, the difference is, again, like I had said, just the way that they want to build that support system. The lighter gray with a little bit of purple didn't have any support built into the shoe. This one does have support built into the shoe. Both shoes have every bit of what Brooks likes to use cushioning wise throughout the whole entire shoe. So there's no difference in that change. It's just that bit of change with the support. And that's
why
what,
it felt so
yeah,
nice.
yep.
By both of them.
But different in the ratio that, the gray one felt cushioned, but it didn't feel as comfortable as this does. And that is priority number 1 when it comes to running. You have to feel comfortable in the shoe right off of the bat. There is no reason to ever feel like I've got to break this shoe in for my running. That is not if that ever comes up, that shoe was never built right from the get-go for what you feel comfortable with. Because I could sit 10 people down that have a very, say I got 10 runners that run just like you on the ball of the foot. Not all 10 are going to be in the exact same shoe.
Yeah.
Just little differences. I might have, half or maybe even more than half or whatever that might be in that same type of shoe. But then I have a few here, a few there. Everybody's foot's just different in what feels comfortable to them. And that's what we found.
Yeah, 21.
38.50.
We have all the shoes. Racks. And that's why I never look at it and say to anyone that I would ever consider it to be one particular brand. If it was that, we'd have one brand and that's it, across the board.
Yeah.
But we have multiple companies, and each of the companies build a high variety of different types of shoes, just like there is subtle changes in the way that our feet and our structure could be. So that's why we have so many, which is good. because you need to have that. You can't just have like the New Balance, the A6, the Saucony, and the Brooks that we had. All four shoes are under the same category as to the way that they were built, but all four did not feel the same. And that's what makes things that unique, just like our feet.
So how much are this?
So these are $129.95, and then with the 10% off for
Great, this is my second year.
being referred in. Plus, we'd give it to you anyway because PhD students up here, of course. $116.95 is what it would be. The New Balance was the exact same price. The Saucony was the exact same price. The A6, the one that was blue that matched everything, is $120. So I mean, they're all real close to each other in that, and that's how a lot of them will compete. So like at first Brooks, if we would have felt comfortable with it and it would have felt the best, then I would have tried others from the other brands, and those pricings would have been the same as well too. So price doesn't always necessarily dictate exactly what you're going to get. Or even what you need. You don't have to spend the upper echelon $200, $160, $180.
I thought
Price range.
No, right? Those are cheaper than I expected. So high quality shoes,
But
good investment.
with that in mind too, though, every single one of these brands is really good at marketing. So when it comes to that, you will see there's been a big boom in what's called athletic leisure. So the shoes will look like they're athletic build, and they will keep them at a very low price. And that's what you'll see in the department stores. That's what you'll see in the big box like Kohl's, for instance, or some of the others. And there's nothing wrong with that. But I always say it has the Cadillac look, but it's got a lousy engine on the inside because they don't build it up the same way that they will a good athletic shoe. So there is structurally, at least on the pricing, there is a difference between what you would see at a $60 level or even a $70 level, and then above. Once you get above, then you're getting into the more technical type of shoe, and that's what you want, obviously, for your exercise, especially for your run. But you do not have to spend buku dollars just to get. We've always sort of, as a consumer, we've always been under the misnotion: the better the price, or the higher the price, the better the shoe. Yes, more bells and whistles, but not everybody needs all the bells and whistles in the shoe. So.
Where are you from?
I'm from here, actually. Yep.
I haven't heard the word buku in a long time.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I was like, I wonder if he's from down.
No. No, I grew up in the area. I went away to school and then I came back home many years ago. So didn't have gray hair at one point. Now I have a ton of gray hair. I don't think we need to go out, but you can certainly walk on it if you like, just to make sure that feels good again to you, with everything. Because running wise, it looked perfect.
They feel so nice. I really like them.
I like them too.
Like the walk is nice, the run was really nice.
Yeah, I remember now. You use them for running and
I know.
you out here going to the grocery store.
Well, you can, but then you're talking, like if you're in them more often, then durability is gonna shrink. It's gonna decrease. So, but if you do use them, just for the exercise, then it does. Yep.
All right. Looks like you got your shoe.
Huh?
You got your shoe?
Yep. This is it. These are them.
Those are the ones.
Now are the bats.
They're nice though. I like
They're
them.
nice.
The balls.